Okay, so here we go. Shaku the Collector, but nothing can do. There's nothing to be done against this onslaught of a druid that we see here. Not with this hand. What can he get? Starfall. It's at least a way to remove the pesky crab there, but is it enough? So next turn you could also play Thalnos Fen, but you need to remove the 3-1 here. And if you're going to play Thalnos Fen, you might as well play the Petal Lesher here. You could also decide to play Thalnos anyway as a card draw, but I think the Thalnos Fen combination is slightly too strong. At least he has enough ways to deal with the living mana, which will be played next turn, if needed. And Alcoholic doing what a token fruit should do, going phase. Ooh, that's a good draw, because now he can practically clear the board, backstab the 4-5 Fan of Knives to clear it, and then trade. So he only has a 2-1 left, and you have a 1-1. But that's fine, then you force the living mana, and then you Starfall it, and then what? Then what can he do? So in 3 turns, Raven might be on board. If Alcoholic draws really badly, but it's still looking too good for Alcoholic at this point. A prep draw. If he does prep Pilfered Power, he gains more mana in the long run. That's probably worth it. Like 2 Wild Growths for 0 mana. That's pretty good. On the other hand, you want to questing prep Starfall next turn. That might be better. Oh, and this is good, not trading with the face to prevent yourself from taking more damage. The ultimate greed will get punished so badly here. Yes, you have your opponent on 12 HP, but what if he has another clear that you didn't expect? And there we go. Prep Starfall, 2 damage through everything. Yes, you get your mana back, Alcoholic, but you didn't reach what you wanted to reach, and now you're behind on board. So yeah, only 2 turns later we see Raven being ahead in this game, or almost ahead, because he's still quite low on HP. Ah, that's a dead draw for Alcoholic. What can he do here? He can swipe to, at least he can swipe to clear the questing. Hero Power feels really weak though. And it is weak, because now Raven can play the Arcane Giant, and what are you going to do? That's way scarier than an 4-4 questing. Yay, a taunt. Which doesn't do anything, in this case. I'm excited now. We'll play his entire hand, probably including the Innervate, because you're not going to use your Innervate at any other point in the game. So I dislike this not playing the Innervate play. And correct play by Raven decides that if he is ahead on board, he doesn't need his direct damage, and his direct damage being the Eviscerate in this case. He finishes this in 2 turns, if he's lucky in 1. Ooh, that's a decent draw, I guess, but it still feels like game over for Alcoholic from this point. But it's still the best draw he could have gotten. Maybe the second living mana would have been better. Okay, so here we have Hallucination into Kun the Forgotten King, which gives you 10 armor. That's pretty good. I'd take it. Could have also picked the Ancient of Lore, but I'd rather see the Kun here. Because then you can play the SI this turn together with the... yeah, what else? Together with not really anything. Maybe together with the Leroy, that would be fun. Then you face tank 1 more damage. You already know that he only has 1 swipe left in his deck. And that he pretty much has no direct damage in any other way. So you could play the Leroy this turn. Oh, I'd like that. Will Raven see it too?
Swiftly.
One thing's sure, it's not going to be the Enchanted Raven. I think he'll go with the lore, but I like the Kun more. And there he goes with the Kun. And now he's too late to play the Leroy. Oh, that's a dead draw, and that's the concede from Alcoholic, I think. What a comeback by Raven in this game. That's amazing.
I concede.
Yep, there we go. Instant concede. And it's 1-1. The Rogue takes a game back for Raven. Which means that Raven has a game on the board as well now. Okay, so it's 1-1. So I just told Raven that it's last hero standing as well. They both missed the part about the last hero standing rules. This is why you read the rules before you participate in a tournament, guys. This is why. It's interesting. I'm curious how this match will continue. And the meanwhile, we see that most of the second round matches have ended already, so we will get some delay because of this match. And we see Stefan Sim is playing Rafia in the first quarterfinals. Then the match after is still not decided. Then Jurgen is playing his second match now that we saw in the first round, but he's 1-0 behind even though he won the first round. And here we see the fourth quarterfinal being played already as well. So this will be yeah, well, we have some delay, it happens, doesn't matter. Let's ask Alcoholic, what's the problem? Oh, he's offline now, that's unfortunate. Let's see if he comes back online, and in the meanwhile I will put up a short break screen so you don't have to look at me all the time. Let's put a nice timer in there, which is in like 5 minutes, so I hope we'll be back in 5 minutes.
None can escape my fury.
Are you hearing what I'm hearing? Let's go back into a game, because this is not the same game we were watching. This is a new game because Alcoholic went offline and the admin decided to give the win to Raven, which means that the game is... Let's put this nice in the middle. This is a new match, and this is What the Fuck Say versus Raven. And because What the Fuck Say is kind of long, we'll just call it Fox. Let's call him Fox. Fox is a nice name. Versus Raven again. Let's see who wins this one. Fox is kind of a lower rank, rank 19. Doesn't say everything, but it does say something. He's probably not the best player in this tournament, but we see Raven on the rogue that he used before as well. Double backstab here seems pretty good, to be honest. Seems good to me. But is it what you want? Because the rest of his hand is kinda empty. Because he goes for at least one backstab. Might as well go for the second. There he goes. And the weapon, or does he coin the Cloaked Huntress? No, decides to go for the weapon. I can understand that, I like it. Alright, I forgot to spectate What the Fuck Say. That's so bad of me. Okay, here we go. I was like, okay, what's he gonna play? Probably Animal Companion or something. Decides to play the Adult Grizzly because there's no good way to remove it if both the backstabs have been used. Unfortunately, there's still a Fan of Knives in the hand. Well, unfortunately for Fox, fortunately for Raven, of course. Doesn't use it though, so now all minions played by What the Fuck Say will be +1. We'll get +1/+1. And then you may be like, okay, how many minions can he play? Quite a lot. It's kind of bugged for me, so I'll quit spectating for a bit and then return very quickly. Sometimes this happens, it's just a bug from Blizzard. Blizzard has many bugs usually, unfortunately as well, but the Blizzard client is not the best. Gets another good roll, by the way. Raven as well. A 4/7 taunt is nothing to scoff at. On the other hand, a Veilspin Slayer is nothing to scoff at either. Here we will very definitely see the Veilspin Slayer on the 4/7. So that's gonna be either Prep Fan, Veilspin, so you can kill the 3/1 as well. I like that. You still have 2 coins for the auctioneer anyway. Or for the Edwin, if you draw him. And you draw. Draw is important. You can't totally go all out either, because you have to play the Veilspin Slayer before you kill off your Sharazin. So if you wanted to revive your Sharazin this turn, it would have been impossible. Or practically impossible. Decides not to use the Fan of Knives, which means that the Veilspin or the Sharazin dies this turn. But that's not the end yet. What can Fox do here though? This board doesn't seem that bad for him, to be honest, and that's a good pickup. Like, the Huffer is always strong, and you play the red back here for sure. Just trade your Huffer, go face with the 2/2. Ooh, very aggressive play here. A second prep, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for that auctioneer, that's your saving grace, not a second preparation. You already have a preparation, you decided not to use it, so why do you need a second? This is pretty bad for him. And here we see the buff of the Adult Grizzly in the beginning. Still carries on the Kindly Grandmother. Oh, this is cute. gonna play the Leroy because you're going to prep Fan anyway. Well, you're going to prep Fan if you play the Leroy. Will he trade away or will he go face? If I were him, I'd go face, but maybe he should trade away. Ooh, prep Mimic Bot. That's... I'm curious what he picks up. If he picks up Auctioneer, that would be so sad. That's not an Auctioneer, but it's playable. However, next turn it will be very strong. Yeah, not the best pickup for Fox, but if he gets a high main from this, he should be pretty golden. Not a high main at all. Another fairly weak main, to be honest. But a large board, and the rogue is on 14 HP. What can the rogue do here? Well, quite a bit with his hand. And I must say that this looks very likely that the rogue is going to win this game at this point. The hunter needs something of a kill command to get this game back. I don't like this play though. Would have rather seen... it doesn't really matter if you use the petal or not. I don't have the mana to use the petal. This is correct, I guess. But now all the small minions die. Then you unleash. You deal 5 plus 2 is 7 damage. So you need kill command for lethal. That's not kill command. However, it might be plus 3 attack, which is also very valuable. There is 9, 14, 16 damage on the board, 17 damage on the board for Raven, so there's no way he's gonna get lethal next turn. Even if he uses the petal, or even if he draws Auctioneer, uses the petal, and even then it's not gonna be lethal. So this is 11 damage in the face if I count correctly, which means that there's lethal next turn with only the hero power. Yep, this is an unfavored matchup for the rogue, and here we see why. Nope, the red pack is not what you're looking for.
Smart moves. I concede.
And there's no other option for Raven than to concede against his rank 18 player. So what does that mean? That we're gonna get another game, of course. Let me update the score very quickly before I forget once again. There we go. And let's see what our Fox player is going to play next. What Raven is going to play next. Fox player still has to play the Hunter, of course. And according to my notes, last time Raven had Mage and Paladin besides his Rogue. So let's see what he has now. Shaman, not banned. So either his Paladin or his Mage is banned. No. And I say Shaman, you don't see Shaman? Here you go. No worries at all. Good start for Fox. The alley cat into the Kindly Grandmother. And this is kind of a good matchup for the Shaman, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. Yup, this should be a very favored match for the Shaman. It's on 61% if I'm correct. I'd rather would have seen the Kindly Grandmother here. What are you afraid of? The weapon, maybe? Oh, wow. So much board pressure already, and we see an elemental shaman from Raven, not even a token shaman. This changes things. 2% in the favor of the hunter. 2% is still not a lot. Would definitely rather have seen the Misha here. Good choice to kill the 1-2, because if he rolls that healing totem, then he would be very much behind because of all the heals and the cards that the shaman would draw. Here we go. Kindly Grandmother being played together with the Crackling Razor Maul. I know all my hunter cards by heart because I love the class, even though it might not be the best right now. I like the Living Spores. Try to get wide on, try to go wide on board as well. That's a very high Hot Spring Guardian. Not edible, because it's not a pirate, of course. What would you want to kill command here? Probably the 6-4. And then play your pirate eater regardless. Oh right, I totally forgot about that. Very well played by Fox that you still remember you had those spores, those 1/1s, and that would activate the taunt ability of your rock bird, which is a nesting rock. Oops. Oh, of course he steals the weapon. Easy trades. And Raven is ahead on board and not by a bit either. Wow, but that draw. Definitely that you unleash the hounds here together with the kill command. However, unleash might not do enough. You might want to play the Golakka Crawler instead of the unleash and wait for a more valuable unleash later, but decides to kill at least one of the Flame Tongue Totems. Doesn't really get the other one, but it's not far away. Bloodlust, not the card you're looking for here. Would you go for the Hero Power Mana Tide? Or is that too greedy? If it's a Taunt Totem, it's too strong. Oh, that's very strong as well. But not strong enough because there's a Direwolf Alpha in the hand of Fox. Good draw by Raven. Easy, free thing from below. Good draw by by Fox as well, the Tundra Rhino being able to kill off that Mana Tide Totem, which is of course a very dangerous card. And now the tables have turned, even the Direwolf Alpha has charged to kill that totem, and yes, you have to kill the totem. Even, you already saw 2 Flame Tongue Totems. What's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst is Bloodlust, but even then it's not enough. I guess the worst is Hero Power, which will roll Spell Power into Meal Support. All of a sudden there's a strong board by Raven, but here we go. Oh, that's misposition of the Golakka Crawler. He should have put it next to... Oh, this is so bad. He should have put it next to the Direwolf Alpha, trade it, then trade 2-1 into the 5-5, which kills it. Yeah. Misplay. It happens. And that doesn't do anything. I guess this is the best you could have done, but even now, you're not going to be able to protect your 8-5. The Hex pickup, so that's an answer to the 10-6. And now, because of those small mistrades and a very good draw by Raven, he's back in this game. And with back in this game, I mean winning. Only a second unleash could save Fox here. And it's a bow, that's not an unleash at all. Decides not even to play it. Jade Lightning setting up that lethal next turn with the Bloodlust. Yeah, that's game. Even though there's only 10 damage on the board, the Bloodlust will make this 30 damage or so. Yep, there we go. Even a second Jade Lightning to finish the Bloodlust wasn't even needed. And that is game 2. going the way of Raven. So let's update his score as well. And we have another 1-1. Will Fox disconnect this time and give Raven another win? Well, I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen. I think we'll go all the way this match, like maybe even to a 3-2. But the Shaman is very strong. I'm not really a fan of Elemental Shaman. I think Token Shaman is slightly stronger. But this is definitely a good deck, and it is more like Token Shaman. It is Token Shaman, just with elementals, which is kind of weird, but not bad. And here we go again, a third game. It's 1-1. We see the Priest coming out against the Shaman. How favored is that matchup? Not very favored for the Priest. So interesting that he decides to play it. Unless, of course, he's a Dragon Priest, which would make this very favored. But it isn't. So interesting to play this here. In the meanwhile, I see that this is the last game of the
Job's done.
1 out of 6. This is the last 16 players. And if Raven wins this, he's the last to get a spot in the quarterfinals, where most matches have already started. So if we're sort of lucky, we might just get the first semi-finals after this and cast that. And then after that, the second semi-finals and then the finals. That would be great. But first we have this match, and we see a very interesting deck of Fox. Summoning the Mana Geode. Whenever this minion is healed, summon a 2-2. You don't want to damage it, but that's so unlucky for Raven. Gets that one, yeah, and now you trade, heal it, get a 2-2. Sometimes lucky is what Fox is thinking. Yep, tricky to come back from that one. You're pretty far behind now. What will you do? You won't hex the 2-3, that's not worth it. Mana Tide, I guess. It doesn't give him more stuff, and it gives you more options. I think Raven will run devolves in this deck. Or at least one devolve, maybe a Volcano. So, looking for your outs is good. Yeah, it is more of an Elemental Shaman, but with the Bloodlusts, it's a bit of a mix. If Reno was still in the game, then Raven probably would play Reno Shaman. Great answer. I would have liked if he played the Radiant Elemental together with it, because it would have been more mana efficient. Please play Radiant Elemental here, because then if you power shield, you still have mana for the Shadow or Death. I don't like this at all. Yeah, this is fine as well. What do you draw? No Shadow or Death. Okay, just buff it even more. And an end turn. You don't even need to trade. You don't want your 2-8 to die. But now might be the time to hex it. Like trade into the 3-faller, hex the 2-8, and then hero power. Hope you get healing, because then your 5-5 will be safe. But that's only a 1 in 4 chance. Still a good chance. I have won many a 1 in 4 in my days. Decide to not go for it. Interesting to say the least.
This jungle hides many secrets.
And that means that there's a free play for Fox to play his Elise Trailblazer. But on the other hand, there's a Black Ball, and there's the Hammer of Twilight. We didn't see that yet in the last match or game.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
6 mana, we see Lara. Fox could clear the board here, trade his Elite away and play the Holy Nova, but that seems very expensive, more than needed. So I think the play here is to play the Talon Cattle Priest on a 5-8 Traded into the Aya. And heal it, just like this. I really like this play. I think we'll see the Fire Elemental here, also to set up for the Kalimos. Decides to not do it. We'll play the Flame Elemental to use the Kalimos next turn. But he should also clear the board. Of course he decides not to clear the board. And here the Holy Nova will happen. Easy turn. Might even play the Radiant Elemental. But I agree not to. Inconceivable indeed. Oh, and there's the board spam from the Kalimos. I think he'll just play loads of 1/1s. Nope. No Kalimos for him. Decides that he might have better use for it next turn. Still threatens the Bloodlust. And there it is, the Bloodlust from the top. But there's too much HP yet for Fox. That was a quick Ember, and there we go. A Yeshirash picked up. That's a large minion. But it can be cleared with the Bloodlust. Which I think is the right play here. So you Bloodlust and you trade. Only your mana tide survives. That's kind of feels Batman moment. But still you want to kill the 10-10, it's too strong, you only have 13 HP anyway. Doesn't really matter how he trades, his mana type's the only one to survive. You have to kill the Priest of the Feast. If you go for damage here at this point, then you only invite him to gain more advantage. High value me is in the hand of Raven though, but will it be more value than Fox will get here with this Lyra? Gotta be quick. What will he get? A heal? Not bad. A free powered shield. A Dragonfire potion. I think you go for it. Need to be quick. Tricky though. You kind of want the Shadow or Death as well, and you want the Holy Nova. But I think the Dragonfire potion is just the best. Nope, decides to go for the Shadow or Death. Powered shield onto the Lyra, which means it won't get killed next turn. Oh, and there's the pack. Won't it get killed? It will get killed. No. The Jade Lightning together with the Fire Elemental is enough to kill it, but not enough to kill the Radiant Elemental. There's a second Radiant Elemental, if only he would have gotten it sooner. And he can't even vision his pack anymore for more value. But still, this should be enough value for him. Of course, there's a legendary. There always should be a legendary in the pack, and here his Shadow Visions. What will he take? If you take the first Shadow or Death, you might as well take the second. Decides not to, but why? This does nothing. Almost literally. Yes, you have a large board. But it will get destroyed by the Kalimos here. Ah, this feels so bad. You didn't play around the Kalimos. Wow, indeed. And now he's sorry that he didn't take the second Shadow or Death. However, he did play some elementals last turn, apparently. The Radiant Elementals. And the Stone Sentinel, which is also an elemental. That sounds a bit like legendary. This is a great turn though for Raven because he has Alakir together with the Flame Tongue Toto, which is 10 damage. So I think you trade the Kalimos together with the Flame Tongue, then he's on 9, you trade one of your small minions, and then you trade the Alakir's first charge and the second charge goes face. Fire Blast to the face, pretty much. There's a Shadow or Death pickup though. I think you silence the Alakir and SWD Shadow or Death the Kalimos. Is that even good enough?
I see gold in your future.
Still 5 damage.
Incredible discovery.
So it's 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 2 is 10 damage. Not to the face. If only he would have gotten that Dragonfire potion.
Blessed be this funnel cake.
Is someone injured?
A very large heal to buy some time, but only more strong minions will come out from Raven. I think he should push face damage here though. There's only 2 cards in the hand of Fox. You know they both come from the back, so they're not spells. At least they're probably not spells. Nope, he decides to go for the trades. 8 damage into a 3 HP minion. Not sure if I agree on that. And there's the third Shadow or Death of this game. Picked up to be used onto the Fire Elemental. If you hover it like that, you might as well use it because your opponent already knows what it is anyway.
Kalimos rises.
Kalimos rises indeed. But it has already risen and fallen again. There's the Devolve, not a card you're gonna play this time. If Fox can remove this board, I think he's won. However, as it seems right now, doesn't look like he can. There's the Divine Shield, not bad at all. But it will get devolved, I think. Whatever he chooses, it's gonna get devolved. I really dislike this. I would have liked the Cleric onto the and then the heal onto the 6-2. So that you draw a card. Your card draw is way more valuable at the moment. More value for Raven. Gets either an Earth Elemental or a White Ice. He knows that all the Shadow or Death, all possible Shadow or Deaths are gone now. Already 2 have been played. Together with the pack, so here we just see a Shaman outvaluing a Priest. Interesting, a Miracle Priest even. Doesn't even default. Decides to play it slowly, knows that there's no direct damage until he gets hit by Surprise Mind Blast, of course, but knows that there shouldn't be any direct damage in the deck of Fox. And there we go, a very good top deck, but is it good enough? That's a dead draw, so that's only 7 damage in the face of Fox at the moment. Tar Creeper will take 3 damage away. That's perfect, you'd say. This is a match that could have gone way different with some other choices. Oh, there's an Evolve. Armor Smith, not bad, to be honest. That pickup is huge though, the 5-5 from the weapon. This sets up lethal for next turn. Second Holy Nova, I kinda felt it coming. Now he trades and there we go, no lethal for you anymore. only 6 cards left in the deck. What else can he do? This board is too large for him. Maybe he can get a Primordial Drake if he runs in. Oh, it's the second Target, but those are not the cards you're looking for at this point. But on the other hand, your opponent is a 5-3, you have a 3-5. They both die, that's fine. And your opponent is on 4 HP as well. Not anymore though, because with the Hot Spring Guardian, I think you use the Hot Spring Guardian to heal your 5-3 and then trade. Because then your 5-3 is still alive and you have more board. You don't need your own HP, and I think the Hex is better for another target. And still, you're not afraid of dying, because your opponent has no direct damage except for the Holy Nova, which you've already seen 2 of. It's not easy to see a play like that, putting yourself in danger. There he goes, must see it in the end. Decides to go with it, and here's his Powered Shield. And please remember that you can use Powered Shield on your opponent's minions as well. So buff that Searing Totem a bit. Don't just pass, please. Please. You need that card cycle at this point. You're not gonna win with a board state like this. As a second Hot Spring Guardian. The only thing that can save Fox now, and even that I doubt, is the second Qualifier pot. Medivh doesn't do it, and that is finally the end of our game, unless there's a taunt, but alas, 9 damage is more. There's enough damage on the board to kill Fox here, and after a very long game, which he concedes in, the Shaman has taken its second win. It was very interesting, with a lot of questionable plays. So this means that it's 2-1 for Raven in his quest to conquer the CardFight Qualifier. In the meanwhile, I will reach out to Vorak, the first semi-finalist that I want to catch his match. And in the meanwhile you hear the sounds of the next game. Here we go. Two to 1 for Raven. And it's a Taunt Warrior of Fox. So pretty decent decks from Fox, even for a rank 19 player. How favored is this versus Shaman? Well, it's pretty favored, and with pretty I mean really favored. So he should have probably picked this last game instead of this game, but it's fine. I think it's too greedy to play the Dirty Red here. The chance that you get punished is rather large. You know how many large minions there are in Raven's deck. Might want to keep it to pull something like a Kalimos later. Ballsy play, ballsy top deck even more. What a draw that is. That War Axe makes very short work of the Manatite Totem. But then again, this pirate makes very short work of the War Axe. And in the end we're none the wiser. I think you want to keep your ghoul on one more turn to play it together with the fishes, sleep with the fishes. So either you play double Dirty Red, which is kinda bad, or you play the Stonehill Defender, but decides to play the ghoul anyway. Interesting, but I don't think it's correct. This is an easy trade, and even if he didn't have the Jade Lightning, which he does, it would have been an easy trade. But now he'll probably trade using the Jade Lightning. There's not really anything else that he can do. Yeah, he could do the weapon together with the Maelstrom Portal. Maelstrom Portal doesn't have any value in this matchup, except for creating more board. So it might not even be the worst plan. Could always do the Jade Lightning afterwards. So yeah, I like that. I like the Jade Claws together with the Maelstrom Portal here. That would be great. We go Maelstrom Portal first, because that gives you an RNG effect. And what now? You just played your ghoul. How are you gonna deal with this?
I have an axe to grind.
Yeah, but because you can't deal with the Flame Tongue Totem, you can't deal with this board. Decides to tank face damage and then make the value trade. Hopefully you get a healing totem, you don't, so you're still weak to a whirlwind effect, but we already saw one. Ooh, here we go. The second war axe being picked up, but we know that there's a second pirate in the hand of Raven, so this might tilt Fox a bit. The hatchling, good pickup. But this is very painful, that's for sure.
Job done.
Oh wow, a second ghoul pickup, that is devastating. I think you might as well play Dirty Rat. I wouldn't play the ghoul solo. It gives such a trigger for the sleep with the fishes as well. And you definitely want to play the Dirty Rat first. He did need to play the ghoul though, to play around Bloodlust. He's getting lower. Fox is on 16 or effectively 18 HP. Good pickup though for Raven. That second mana type will give him a lot of value because there's no way for Fox to deal with it. Here he goes, second. That was a snap pick if I ever saw one, but it's only a hired gun, which is not the best taunt. I didn't even have the chance to see the other options. Wow, that was so quick. Getting closer to completing his quest, only a Dirty Rat needed next turn. But here we see more value being picked up for Raven. I think he might play Scalimos next turn. Besides against it, probably will play the Fire Elemental then. Yep. Now he has a really threatening board. But is a threatening board enough? The Dirty Rats are pretty good here. You can pull 3 good units and 1 bad for you. The 1 bad unit is of course Kalimos, which will only put more power on the board, but Firefly is totally fine, it's perfect. He decides to armor up instead of playing another Dirty Rat to protect himself. Wow, perfect hit as well. That's incredible indeed. Oh, if only I was that lucky. Sometimes I wish I was as lucky as the people I'm watching. And I just noted that Stefan Sim is knocked out of the tournament. Our rank 270 legend player is knocked out by Rafia, who was in the last tournament as well, and I even think I casted a match of him. Or her, of course. this match is slowly coming to an end, as it looks like the Shaman is going to pick up all 3 wins for Raven here. That's not the draw you're looking for, and because Raven went this wide on board, it doesn't really matter what the hero bar will hit, and that's the worst card to hit. That was indeed an error. So is this lethal? Three into that, 8 into that, and then... yeah, I guess it's fine. I guess it's lethal. Nine plus 5 is 14, but he gains 2 armor. So not lethal yet, but it is really close. He could have had lethal though this turn, but that would also mean that he would get either stun score or patches from the Milsom portal. And with this board, how are you gonna do this? Like, there must be a brawl now, and that's no brawl. This is definitely not enough, especially not if you hit that, and that means that this is a 3-1. And out of the corner of my eye, I see that the semi-final I was looking for is also ready. So I will fix some stuff in the meanwhile. Enjoy this short video break of 3 minutes.
In my opinion, a Strike Series has all that you might need for gaming. I can actually think of anything that could improve this keyboard. How about RGB?
That will be sick.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm waiting for the semi-finals to start. They're both ready, however, they are still hanging out in the main menu. I see they just challenge each other. So here we go, preparing to battle a friend, and they can start very soon. It's going to be Vorek versus Tsubanae. Tsubasane. I think that's the right way to sort of pronounce it. Tsubasa has wings in Japanese, so I guess it's based on that. I know the classes as well. Vorek is playing Paladin, Priest and Shaman, while Tsubasane is playing Druid, Warrior and Shaman. What will they start with? I think we might see a Shaman Mirror. I think Tsubasa might also start with his Druid. And let's see in-game how this will end.
Malfurion versus Leandrin! My hammer burns with holy fire.
I must protect the wild.
Let's fix the overlay first, and then... Oh, it's beautiful. Sort of. Anyway, here we go. Vorek versus Tsubasane. Got invited by Vorek to watch, and here we go. A Jade Druid by Tsubasane versus a Control Paladin by Vorek. Well, if you ask me who's favored, I'd say that's the Jade Druid by quite a bit, and indeed it is. The Jade Druid is favored by 66% in this matchup. That is quite a lot. Wow. Yeah, that should be enough. But that's all only if the Jade Druid can play it correctly. If he knows what to do, and if he, of course, doesn't draw very badly. The hand of Vorek isn't that great. You want to pressure the Jade Druid early on if you want to win. But because you play that Control Paladin, you are not able to. Now, what is it that you're gonna do, being Vorek? Are you going to play Doomsayer? But you do expect a Wealth Growth, so your opponent probably wouldn't mind that much. And just Hero Power seems good. Tsubasane might answer with his own Hero Power, but I didn't dislike the Nourish here. He decides to play slightly greedier. Sunhill Defender for Vorek. What can he get? Sunkeeper Tareem, very good. Especially in this matchup, because it can deal with those high HP and attack Jades. If you ramp your Jades up to 7, 8, 9, then you don't have that many ways to deal with them anymore. You probably used your Peacekeepers already. So that second Sunkeeper Tareem can really save the day. On the other hand, what can Tsubasane do here? He could Wrath for a card. That's one of the options that would be in my head. But one other option would also be to innovate the Nourish for card draw. Then you have 3, 5, 8 cards in hand, and it must feel quite ahead. You probably draw a Jade Spirit as well. So, and even if you don't draw a Jade Spirit but a Jade Behemoth, it's still pretty good. Decides to again go for the slower option of the Wrath. Or does he? Ooh.
Time waits for no one.
What
Tricky turn, I agree. Decides to play it even slower and just Hero Power. Well, he's not afraid of dying anytime soon, so I guess I understand not wanting to Wrath here, but I like the cycle. You want to cycle through your deck to get to that end, to get to that infinite Jade Idols, together with your Gadgets and Auctioneer. If you're there, then you have won, pretty much. Another very slow turn from Vorek as well, and this is a good chance to see how patient Tsubasane is. If I were him, I would Fenrir here, innovate, coin, Nourish. And then probably Wrath as well on the 1-2, because why not? Everything for card draw.
I wonder.
But he's patient. He's very patient. Decides to wait one more turn. And what can Vorak do in the meanwhile? In the meanwhile he can place Harrison because his opponent has no weapons anyway. Again decides against my judgment. Oh man, these guys. And goes for the 2-2, probably together with the getaway coder for if his Stonehill dies, he might get another Tareem or another Tyrion, which really wins you this matchup.
Reporting for duty.
And now what can Tsubasane do? He can Wrath to check if it... it's so obvious what secret it is that he decides to play the Wrath on the dude. And procs the getaway coder with that. Into Coin Jade Spirit, I think. Into Hero Power once again. These guys. Playing it so slowly, so patiently. I shouldn't say slowly, I should say patiently, because slow seems kind of bad. Well, this really is being a patient player. I would have made my actions way earlier, I would have done many things. My innervates would be gone on turn 1, around there. Well, this druid is still having a very full hand. There we go, this first Keeper Tree being played. Well, the Curator was just picked up, so I like that he wants to have a good hand here. Or a good board before he plays the Curator, because the Curator will kind of slow him down. We'll use one Wrath to kill a 3-3, probably the Murloc, before the second getaway Kodo is gone. If he kills the dude with this, that's a straight up misplay. Yeah, that's a misplay. The dude doesn't do anything that the Murloc doesn't, and the Murloc is scarier. There's such a full hand of Vorak here, but the play is pretty obvious. Or is it? You can't play the Curator because your hand will overflow. And then all of a sudden you have to play your dude, another dude, your True Silver, and you're kind of weak to swipe.
Reporting for duty.
Doesn't use the True Silver, does use the True Silver. Or does he use the 3-7 to attack here? Yeah, he does. Okay, so this is good. And the Jade Behemoth being played, and now Tsubasane is kind of is behind on board, right? So he has to fight back for his board. Is this finally the turn that he will use his Nourish together with Fendrel? What I would have liked to see 3 turns earlier. Nope, seems like he's still going for the Jade Behemoth, but he's getting so low by now. And of course these guys are under pressure as well. It's the semi-finals. Whoever wins this has a good chance to go home with that 40 euros. Tsubasa should hurry up a bit though, because I think the rope is about to burn. And there we go. Wow, what timing. Decides to go for the easy play anyway, to Jade Behemoth. Double consecration. Only one consecration is enough though. I like consecration acolyte here.
Should I? That belongs in a museum.
Let the pain speak to me.
No consecration being played. Harrison and Acolyte are being played though for more board control. And now he does have to go for the Fendrel, but he's so pressured now. If he just went for it earlier, he would have had a way better chance to win this game. And now he's behind. He's actually behind.
Behold the rage of the Fireland.
But here we go. It's cycle time. Let's go through half of his deck right now. There's the Earth and Skills, there's a Wild Growth, oh, and there's Aya as well. You can't double innervate Aya here because you're dead. I think he's going for the Fell Reach plus Earth and Skills. And the Hero Power to clear that and that. Yeah, this seems decent. You can clear the Harrison as well with the Earth and Skills. But now you're under no pressure once again. So finally the swing turn has been made. He wants to be pressured very heavily before trying to come back. But Vorik still has a lot of means at his disposal to win this. He still has a Tyrion, he still has his own Sunkeeper Dream, because the one he played is from the Stonehill Defender. And there is another mean, the Ragnaros Light Lord. Apparently this is a very easy turn for Tsubasa. And there's no Peacekeeper in the hand anymore to combo with that Stampeding Coda, so this might be tricky for Vorak. And remember, this is still our first game that we're in. Oh, there's a Peacekeeper top deck immediately. That might be the key that Vorik needs to swing this game around once again. Peacekeeper into Kodo is like one of the only ways to deal with this large minion. And we all know that Druid is not good on board. So this might be enough pressure to actually get Tsubasa to die. Nope. Yeah, that together with the Aya should solve a lot of the problems of Tsubasa here. Or the Jade spawned by the Aya nicely contests the Kodo, or what's left of it as well. Now here we go, the Curator being played. Not gonna pull Murloc anymore because he just got his second Murloc. But he is gonna pull a Beast and a Dragon. And we might see a noble sacrifice here instead of a getaway Kodo. I'd like that. Maybe even redemption. I wouldn't mind that as much. I also think we're going to see one more slow turn and then a Yogg. Because he's still quite far behind. Goes for the redemption. And for the face damage. Oh, Jade Behemoth, a very good pickup. Yeah, redemption gonna wreck the 4-4. But not the end of the world. The Jade Behemoth will protect him slightly more.
The menagerie is for guests only.
And the golems are getting bigger and bigger. Spike-Ridge Steed, good pickup, but not enough to get lethal. Is it lethal though on board? It is lethal on board. Double Consecration is lethal. So Tsubasa playing too greedily. This is lethal as well, I think. Yeah, this is lethal as well. Yep, Tsubasa playing too greedily in the beginning. Got behind on board. Made it very hard for himself to still win this game. And thus Tsubasa is being killed right now. Which means that Vorak is up 1-0 in this best of 5 to get to the finals. This is our first semi-finals. And in the other match we still miss one guy. It's going to the last quarterfinals, Raven versus Bubblegum. The winner of that will play versus Rafia. Anyway, we're going to get back into the match really quickly. What does Tsubasa have left? Wait a minute.
For Doomhammer.
Pretty sure Vorag was playing Paladin. Even this far in the tournament, people haven't read the rules. Always disappointing to see that people don't read the rules, especially as an admin in my free time as well. I make rules for people to read and have a good tournament, and then they don't read them. Feels bad, man. Oh well, doesn't really matter. It's important for Tsubasa as well. I hope Tsubasa is familiar with the Last Hero Standing format. I am waiting. Yes. Okay, so in the first match we saw the Druid of Tsubasane lose to the Paladin, which means that the Druid is knocked out. And here we go, the Paladin once again being played. First is the Shaman this time, and now it's correct. Before this we suddenly had a Shaman mirror, and that's of course less correct. Oh, it's an Elemental Shaman this time versus the Paladin. So what's the favor of Elemental Shaman versus Paladin? It is a pretty bad matchup, to be honest, for the Shaman. Like, it's 46.5%, so not impossible to win, but way harder than Jade Druid to win, and the Jade Druid lost. So what can we see here? What will we see from Vorag? Oh, I forgot to update the screen because of all the commotion. How bad? Oh wait, no I didn't. I'm slightly stupid sometimes. Feels bad, man, but I'll survive. Okay, what we'll see here. Good start for Vorag. Getting the Doomsayer is very important because now he can counter the early pressure by Tsubasane, and he can already counter it with that early Murloc of his. Doesn't really have play here, except for Getaway Kodo. I'd rather see Getaway Kodo than Hero Power, to be honest, because there's a good chance that the Murloc's gonna be killed this turn, either by a weapon, or by Maelstrom Portal, or by Flame Tongue Totem, or by anything else. Oh, gets his own Murloc, feels good, man, but it is actually not that good, because Tsubasa doesn't run any other Murlocs. So getting this Murloc does nothing, to be honest.
The end is coming!
Tsubasa can't afford to hex this target. There are way worse minions in the deck of the Paladin. So if you use your hex now, you are you have no answer to Tyrion or the Light Lord or something that is buffed with the Spike Ridge Steed. Hex is very important in this matchup, but he used it anyway. Probably gonna play the Stonehill Defender together with the Secret. Sunkeeper Dream, always a good pickup. Such a strong card. Maybe except for in this situation, because if you're behind on board, then you probably buff the board of your opponent. However, this is not Token Shaman, this is Elemental Shaman, so this plays slightly different from Token Shaman. It means that this deck has one Bloodlust at best, which is better against the Control Paladin. But on the other hand, you have way more late game, as in you have the Fire Elementals, you have Kalimos in your deck as well. Consecration picked up and used. And a free second Stonehill Defender. But now he has to deal with that Fire Elemental that's on board.
Out of my jungle.
Ancient of Blossoms is not that bad, to be honest. It's at least better than the Hired Gun or the Buddy Bay Bodyguard. Buddy Bay Bodyguard is the worst. So I'd love to see him pick the Ancient of Blossoms. I can understand the Hired Gun somewhat, but the Buddy Bay Bodyguard would be really bad. Yep, and that's correct. Together with the Doomsayer, I like this play a lot. It will be hard to deal with the Doomsayer here. You get the tempo you want. Would you even play the Jade Claws here just to ramp up your Jades? I guess since you only spawn a 1-1 it's fine. Because you have to get that Jade train rolling sometime. But the Doomsayer is really painful here for Tsubasane. I wonder as well, what can you do to win this match? So you win this match by having more board and then top decking your Bloodlust. Oh wow! Rolls the Spell Power Totem, which gives him the board clear. Or at least a clear on Doomsayer. And that means that the Vorak is actually in a pretty tight situation now. Of course he can still come back and there's still a Keeper or Ancient of Blossoms and a Primordial Drake in the hand of Vorak, but that it would have been way better if there wasn't a Spell Power Totem, of course.
Should I?
Patchestraw, you're never happy with Patchestraw. Not entirely sure why he did that. Guess he wants to preserve his weapon. I would rather have seen the Aya spawned on the left side of the board to get more Flame Tongue value. Here we go, the Primordial Drake being played rather quickly, and there's the Flame Tongue, just when I was talking about it, but I'm pretty sure he won't play it here. I was like, nah, maybe he might, but no, you won't. You want to play the patches together with the Flame Tongue as well. Maybe the Hero Power here would have been better than the healing unit. Elder Peacekeeper being picked up. I like it. I like the Peacekeeper together with the Spike Ridge Steed here. You have a 5-9 taunt and his 6-5 turns into a 1-5. So it will be quite tough to deal with that large taunt. This is of course expecting that he doesn't have a second hex, and there is a card that Tsubasane has had in his hand for a long time, which is the Tulfir Stone Shaper. So
Follow the rule.
yeah, goes for it. I like it a lot. Well played by Vorak in my opinion. What does he do here? He can trade away, but it will cost him all of his minions. Or maybe together with the patches, so that's a 4. No, it's always awkward. If only that fire element I had to attack. That's a mistake. That's definitely a mistake. Exactly. I think Tsubasa is slightly nervous for this match, because it is of course the semi-finals. That's good positioning though. Always place your taunt next to the flame tongue for if he has to trade in it with either me or face.
Put your faith in the light.
And there's a Tyrion pickup. He can't trade it away, still has the shield on the Tulfir Stone Shaper as well. Order doesn't matter too much here. But now the Stone Shaper will die because of that weapon. Slightly less weapon, but still a weapon. Will you play the Stegodon here or the Sunkeeper here? I don't think so. The board is way too large. I think you play... Yeah, Curator's fine. Get that second Primordial Drake. Good positioning by the way by Tsubasa. Getting his pirate on the left side. Because the totem spawned on the right side anyway. No second Primordial Drake, interesting. Did I miscalculate? Did he already play 2? I don't think so. Maybe he just doesn't have it.
Options.
Options indeed, but apparently not enough options because he decides to play the Acolyte of Pain for more cards. I like to trade in one of the taunts here though, doesn't really matter which one. I guess that one's better because it's smaller on his turn. The other one that is. Oh, Blaze Color top deck, that's really strong here. I think he's pretty happy to find this. You play it on the left side, because you have to trade your pirate into the 4-6. Then you can trade your 3-5 into the 1-3. Isn't that amazing? You could decide to trade your 3-5 and hope he doesn't have Consecration, but it does make you really weak. I like this one. Oh, why did you trade into the Acolyte? I think that's a mistake. And this is why. You can play Pyromancer Secret. Once again a difficult turn. Yep, Pyromancer into the Secret to draw a card. See what you get. Will definitely play another spell, but he doesn't really have any other spells. But he does want to play one, so I guess he's going to play either the Wicker Flame, which will get its shield destroyed, or the Kodo, which is not the best either. Let's play the Wicker Flame, which will get slightly less shield and double trade. I'm not entirely sure if I like this play. I would have definitely played the heal on
Brothers,
you had to trade first at least. Oh well, he didn't have enough time to really think his playthrough, so I guess I'll forgive him. This is bad though. These are 3 very bad picks. You usually get some high value targets out there, but this was terrible. Especially because it will just die right away because you didn't get it on turn. And there we go, another getaway Kodo for the Wicked Flame Burn Bristle. And again, you're in a situation where you don't want to play Sunkeeper because the board is just too strong for your. There's too much board for your opponent. That's a good pickup though. Yeah, you're definitely going to play Stonehill first, then your second Wicker Flame, then True Silver onto the 6-2. I would like that a lot. Stonehill Defender first though. Vorak taking his time to think about it.
Out of my jungle.
Gets a Tyrion. Well, if he didn't have enough value yet, that should seal the deal.
I'm on fire.
Goes for the play I had in mind after all, which I like. I always like it if I call plays correctly. A second Servant of Kalimos, this might be his saving grace if he can pressure enough with this, even though I'm not sure if that's even possible. Yeah, you definitely go for the Kalimos here. Kalimos is always the most pressure. Don't pick up, not that interesting. But it is now, since you trade correctly. On the other hand, what can Vorak do to even lose this match? To just play Tyrion here. Tyrion Hero Power, you know there's no Hex in the hand of your opponent.
Should I? Should I?
Reporting for duty.
Interesting how he goes for the Sunkeeper here. I can't agree with that. I think the Tyrion would be way better.
That's incredible.
It is incredible.
By the elements combined.
We'll play the Invocation of Air here, and then the Flame Tongue to get the value through. That was a really strong turn, and there's no real answer from Vorak to this. I guess Kodo True Silver is a real answer, but it's not that great. String Guardian. Yeah, from now on, it's probably gonna be hard for Tsubasa to get the high value cards from his deck. Because there aren't that many left. And here's the final blow, I think. Could even pass a turn.
Reporting for duty.
If you play Tyrion, you have to use your weapon though, because if Tyrion dies, it's gonna happen guaranteed. Then you use your weapon anyway, so might as well use it now. Another low. Oh, that's not enough. He needs taunt or heal. That's neither. So he will lose his 7-1 to the 1-1 that's still on board. That must feel painful. Because now we'll see the second big guy come around, probably like the Ragnar's Light Lord. Why not?
Reporting for duty. The light purges.
I think at this point in time, being the shaman, you just surrender. There's no way you still win this. Lit insect from Ragnaros the Light Lord. Yes, that's 5 damage and a 4 golem, but what is that gonna do against that Ragnaros? I think I understand why you don't want to give up at this point, because you're in the semi-finals and you really want to get to the finals, but you should also know when a game is lost. And there's the second equality, and still the clear with the equality in his hand. And this is lethal. Wow, well spotted by the way. I didn't even see that. Great job by Vorak taking a 2-0 lead in this series. So let's quickly update the score once again. And Vorak asks for a minute, can of course get that. Let's wait a minute and see how the other side of the bracket goes. I see that Rafia will play versus Raven in the other semi-finals. Let me check if they have started already. Preparing to battle a friend. Just telling them that I might join them midway through the match, but that they can start anyway. Add the other participant that I do not have in my friend list yet, but I can't add him because I'm still waiting for the next game to start. Oh wow, that's Blizzard for you guys. Anyway, I'm happy to see that Raven made it through. He seems like a nice guy. I don't think he's the Raven, like there's this caster called Raven. He's a very nice guy as well. I don't know him personally, maybe that will change next weekend on DreamHack Summer. But this guy is a nice guy as well. I think most people in this tournament are nice guys. I think in general, in the Hearthstone scene, most people are nice, which is good. I also see that one of the guys that participated last time is also ranked 454 legend at the moment, which is really good. By the way, Vorak didn't lose a game yet this tournament. He has beaten everyone 3-0 and he is up 2-0 against Tsubasane now. Which I did or did not already update. I did already update that. Feels good, man. So let's see how this will end. Yeah, we're just waiting for him to show up. No hurries. You'll just have to stare at me for the moment. In the meanwhile, we see that Raven is in game, so maybe his match will finish quicker than ours. That would be weird, right? That would be insane. Like that must be a very quick 3-0 then. But I think we'll see maybe 1 or 2 games still of their match. In the meanwhile, just waiting for Vorak to get back. They're even under each other in my friend list, which is unique, or which is a coincidence because I have got many friends in game. Ah, and here we go. Vorak is apparently back. So let's transition quickly to this match. Still the Paladin, of course, because this is
My hammer burns with holy fire.
For Cosmodon!
this is last hero standing. Which means the Shaman of Tsubasane is down as well, and he only has the warrior left. The warrior is a taunt warrior, which is once again, I think, unfavored in this matchup. Yep, it's unfavored versus the control paladin by quite a bit. So if If Warwick plays this correctly, he should have an easy. And with the Doomsayer already in set, yeah, here we'll definitely see the Acolyte of Pain drawing a... Tsubasa just wants to draw cards, gets his hero power as soon as possible, but he has no taunts in his hand at the moment. And I think we'll just play his Doomsayer here to make sure that Tsubasa doesn't get too much value from that Acolyte, because if the Acolyte dies by the Doomsayer, there will be no cards drawn. Because the Doomsayer doesn't damage, it destroys him, just like something as Assassinate or Naturalize. Those don't damage either. Sleep with the Fissures does damage though. Execute doesn't. Oh, it's kinda bugged. How can I remove this quest? Just like that apparently. Huh, interesting. Anyway, there's the Doomsayer. As I predicted. Please stop doing that quest. Get Safari War Axe. Not too impressive. You can equip it here, but it's not the taunt you're looking for. You draw first, that's for sure. You could trade and execute the Doomsayer, but once again, do you really want to do that? Is there no better execute target than that Doomsayer? And yes, there is. Spoiler. Just like the Hex in the second game. And there's the second roll, and these are all the cards he doesn't want to draw. Such bad luck for Tsubasa. That's actually a good pick of a Vorak. Vorak? I think Vorak. Yep, there we go. Another Sunkeeper Dream seems good. Sunkeepers are always good. I remember back in the early days of Hearthstone, you had Shattered Suncarrick, which was totally overpowered. It was a 3-mana 3/3, and it buffed a friendly minion with 1/1, and it doesn't seem that strong now, but back then it was really strong, and then it got nerfed to 2 HP, which made it enough less strong to never be played again. Another Doomsayer. Now, yeah, he still can play them now, right? But that's finally a good pickup for Tsubasa. If you can get a Dirty Rat from this and then pull a Tyrion, that would be amazing. Dirty Rat's so good in this situation because of the Doomsayer. And I hope Tsubasa sees that as well. Doesn't get it though. Will he pick the Tarlord, Cornet Sentry, or the Dread Corsair? I think you pick the Cornet Sentry to make a setup for Brawl. From turn 7 you can play Cornet Sentry Brawl, and the chance that you or a useless minion wins it's very large.
No.
I gotta move.
Yep, goes for the Cornet Sentry. I like it. He played his Ghoul already though, so there is no good way to activate his Sleep with the Fishes or Execute. And we saw that earlier. He also drew a Shield Slam, which is a bad card, I think, in this deck. I think Tsubasa is playing with a rather old list. Might not have played too much last month. Or this month. Yep, Saphira is still 1 out of 7. Not too great. But what will Vorak play? Will he just play the Sunkeeper as tempo card? I'd rather see the... I like that. It's better than the Kodo, because the Kodo is really good versus the Ellie Armorsmith, the 2/7. Wow, this is awkward though. That's even more awkward. Where are your taunts, bro? You need them. Yeah, you just boss here. Nothing to worry about, it's only 3/7. But then you boost it, you buff it. Or you play Curator.
The menagerie is for guests only.
How many cards do you pull with the curator? 2 or 3? 3. That means he's gonna go to overdraw next turn, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Nope. Still 1 of overdraw. That's another good target for the Kodo. And Tsubasa knows that the Kodo is in the hand, but he has no choice. With his hand, he just has to play every taunt he can find. So yes, he is slightly unlucky, but this deck is not optimized at all. And there's the Ellie Armorsmith, and then you're like, ah, there can't be another Kodo, right? But yes, there can be.
Should I?
And here we go. I was distracted for a bit, I'm very sorry about that. So what did we see? A Murloc and a Secret, together with the Stampeding Kodo, will set up for a very nice brawl for Tsubasa.
Nice little raptors.
Only 2 Raptors though. I think you might have want to keep that for the second brawl. But at least he agrees on the idea of using it to improve the chances of him winning the brawl. But the chances are not that large anyway. Wow, it did help though. Uses his second War Shard
You will
to
pay for that, her.
trade into the Noble Sacrifice and then Hero Power, I suppose. And another Sunkeeper Dream in the hand. There's just too much value in the hand of Vorak at the moment. How are you ever going to deal with this?
Reporting for duty. Ungoro belongs to the Titan.
Yep, there's the second. If you had the Coordinate Sentry together with the Brawl this turn, it would have been way better. If you had a Ghoul with the Sleep with the Fishes this turn, it would have been way better. But alas, there is no Ghoul and no Coordinate Sentry. Decides to play the Brawl, second Brawl, which means that next time that Vorak extends on board or goes wide on board. Oh, that's one tough Raptor, by the way, surviving 2 Brawls in a row. It's pretty cool. Cool Raptor. I think we'll definitely see the Tyrion here. It also sets up for lethal, I suppose. Could also go for the buff. Oh, he's just going for it. Go smack the face. What you gonna do, bro? Tsubasa in a very tough spot here. Picked up his second execute as well, and a Armorsmith that does nothing. His entire hand is useless because he has so many conditional cards in his deck.
Armor made to fit.
Shield Slam Execute might save you? No, it doesn't. You still die, and that means that it's a 3-0 lead and thus match win for Vorak. Still not dropping a match. Can he do the same in the finals? Well, we will find out soon. In the meanwhile, we will go to the match between Raven and his opponent Raffia.
Reporting for duty.
We already hear some noises. Let me show you. Okay, so Rafia has 1-0 ahead. But he didn't accept me as a friend yet, so we can't spot him. Anyway, I will quickly alter the names. So this is Rafia, who is up 1-0. Well, the second player is Raven. Let's write it correctly, which is down 1-0. And let's fix it. Okay, so here we go. I'll try to add him once again. Or well, actually, I'll try to add him because I couldn't yet. Unfortunately, I do not have admin rights. And there we go. Now we can spectate Rafia as well, and let's see what his cards are. At least one of them is Consecration, and we see a Paladin once again. So apparently Rafia won his first game with the Paladin as well, and I think Paladin is just so strong at the moment. Like, the control Paladin is very hard to beat, and not even that hard to play, to be honest. Snap pick on the Earth Elemental. Rafia will probably play the Curator here to refill his hand, get that Primordial Drake that is so important. But the deck of Fire Elemental will make short work of that Curator. And once again, a good board for Raven and not a good way to clear it for Rafia. So I think he'll just play the Tyrion here. Hope that there's no Hex in hand. Of course, we don't know if a Hex has already been played earlier this game.
I wonder.
We see that Rafia is playing the slightly more aggressive version of Paladin, so no Doomsayers for him, but Coldlight Seers, together with Finja and other smaller Murlocs. And of course the Megafin, or Gentle Megazord, not Megafin. Megafin is the Shaman legendary that you get from the quest. He decides to go for the Primordial Drake, even though it will just get traded away. Interesting choice. Well, it's a very good Aya turn. You trade away your Fire Ally and play Aya Hero Power. You could also play the Hammer of Twilight and then trade your 4-1, play the second Stonehill Defender to the right of your Flame Tongue Totem. See what you get from that. That gives you more pressure on the board, I think. And it sort of plays around Consecration. Tricky turn. At least I would not play the Kalimos here. So guys, just so you know, this is the second semi-finals, and the first one was won by Vorek 3-0 against Tsubasane. Decides to go for the Kalimos. Wow, but why? If you want a sturdy board, Aya is better, for sure. And you can always use Kalimos as a fireball if you really need him. Here Raven could hero power first. And then play the thing from below. It's also a small mistake, unless he wants to play around mind control tech, but mind control tech is not played at the moment. Just not, so... Why would you play around it?
Let me think.
Angoro
There we go, some key retreat to fix this board. Blessing of Kings to pull some more Murlocs, but no Charger Murlocs inside, I think. War Leader, nope, no War Leader either. Now all of a sudden the board got turned around. However, with the Hammer of Twilight you can still get some good trades. But you can't kill the Finja, so they'll keep spawning small Murlocs. Until there's a big one. On the other hand, 12 HP only for the Paladin, so he needs to heal soon, but he doesn't have any healing in hand. But enough taunts not to die anytime soon. Aya still in the hand of Raven though.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
Still trying to understand what Aya says when she comes on board. Golems are a girl's best friend, I guess. It's pretty good. So let's see how this trade works out. So you play the trade D3-7 there. Where's the waste? You can buff the 1-3 with the Spike Ridge Steed to get a very strong minion. Then trade, then you have 12 damage left, together with the Blessing is 16, so you can put him on 9 if you really want to. You have enough taunts to survive for now, but then if he has Bloodlust, you're done. I think. But you do have 2 taunts. So you're probably not entirely dead.
I must move quickly.
Goes for the Spike Ridge Seed onto the Finja. Interesting. And another 2 Murlocs, but this time it's Murloc War Leader. Wow, what a... Is this lethal? Yes, it is. Wow, the Wind Fury lethal on the... Wow, what a game, what a turn of events. I was counting to lethal, but I didn't see that Wind Fury win coming. That is insane, guys. Wow, what a draw. It's very bright, or actually it's just getting dark outside here. Let's continue quickly into the third game. Or third, yeah, round. And I will have to update the score once again. Rafia making short work of
Escape my fury.
Raven here. But can Raven's rogue that we saw before, the Miracle Rogue, get him back into the game? Miracle Rogue should be favored in this matchup though. And I'm very quickly going to turn the light on. An Eater of Secrets in the deck of Rafia, that's interesting. Why would you play that? It's a very good pickup for Rafia. Finally Murloc he wants to play. And Getaway Coder is good too, so I think he'll coin the Getaway Coder, and then next turn play the Murloc again, plus another secret. The Getaway Coder is the only good secret here anyway. Decides to want to use the Getaway Coder on something else. Sword of Justice, wow. But with this he doesn't have any combo pieces left to combo the SI or the Veilspin Slayer. So I do not agree on this. I'd rather see trade and hit from Raven with the weapon into the 2-2 and then equip the Sword of Justice than this. Because now you can't combo anymore. If you did that, he could have played the Sherazin next turn and then backstab Veilspine if needed on turn 5. Rafi has a very full hand though. What can he do with it? I think Coin Eater of Secrets might not be that bad. Well, it is bad of course, but it contests the board, that's something.
I must move quickly.
Apparently no mage for Raven. Yeah, very easy to pick this. Finally decent pickup for Rafia. I think he'll play the Stonehill Defender together with the secret here. And there we go. Sunkeeper Dream, easy pick. And there we go with the secret and a quick trade with the 2-4. Ooh, coin Vels. Ooh, what would you want to do here? You don't really want to return the 1-4 to him? But unless you use your Veilspine Slayer, there's no way to deal with the 2-3, and I'd rather give another 1-4 to him, to be honest. Here you use one durability of the weapon to hit.
This guy's toast.
This guy is indeed toast. This is an impressive board. How are you going to deal with this paladin? I think the answer is Sunkeeper Dream, but he would have really liked it if he had a true silver here. A true silver champion, that is. I think you play the War Leader together with the Rockbull Hunter. But another option is the slower option of Stonehill Defender plus Hero Power. Second rate Bruiser is fine.
Reporting for duty.
Tricky turn. How wide will you go on board? How afraid are you of that equality consecration? I think you just play the Celsi deckhand together with a weapon. You get badges? Yeah, you don't get badges, right? There was a Swashbuckler earlier. Tricky turn. Will you go for the gadget then? We'll just play it slow. You play it slow. I like. Or I do not dislike, that's for sure. But keeping the 1-1 alive means that he will get more value with Sunkeeper Dream. Because now he can trade away something. This is definitely going to be SI7. Yeah, I agree on that. Exactly, I would like to see the gadgets in here. trade first with the plant is correct, because now it will revive if you draw enough spells, and you already had enough spells in the coin and the prep. So now there's a second coin and a second Petal Dasher. Won't use the prep because he has no other spells in hand, but now he does. Still won't use it obviously because you want to have something to activate the Fell Spine with, even though you have the South Sea deckhand. So you can always activate the Fell Spine Slayer whenever you want. We haven't seen too much Rogue this tournament, only from Raven I believe. Lots of Paladins though. Finally some early game picked up for Raffia. We'll go for the Spike Ridge Steed here. A questing picked up, that might be huge. Or it will be huge. Yeah, this Razor Petal, even discounted, gives you an easy trade on the 2-5, and this hallucination is great. If you can get another spell from this that you can actually play, or Spike Ridge Steed, that's just amazing. And the enemy is so low already, it's only on 10 HP now. What are you going to do, Raffia, to take this match back? Tyrion is not enough, because it will just get traded away and you'll still get 7 damage. And of course we know there's a Leroy in hand. Consecration is not enough. Consecration plus a taunt would be enough, but he doesn't have the mana for, he does have the mana for that. Like Bruiser plus Consecration might just be enough. Like it's probably the best bet you have, but it is not enough. But it's the best bet you have.
The victory is yours.
Nope. Decides to call an end to it. No Paladin for Raffia anymore, which means he's going on to his next class. And what class will that be? Well, doesn't really matter. Let's see if we can update the score. Raven is now only down 2-1. No 3-0 in this match. Yeah, put on the lights, it's really getting dark outside now. Even if it's 10:30 already. And here we go into the last, or maybe last game of this series already. Maybe the one. Oh, it's a Druid. If it's Token Druid, then Raffia is favored, and it is Token Druid. And he almost guarantees not to have patches in his opening hand. By mulliganing it away now. Savager coming back for it. And now there's a 1 in 27 chance to draw patches. No patches there. Lucky for him. So he still wants to play the Raven first. Because if you play the Raven, then you can buff it with your Mark of Yesharash. And there we go. Plays the Raven. No way for Raven to clear it. That's ironic. Raven doesn't run patches in his rogue. That's just interesting. I thought earlier that he had patches already, but apparently he didn't. This decides to play Hero Power to clear the 1-1 with his Inner Fate. Doesn't think he needs his Inner Fate anymore for a more more important stuff, and I kinda agree. As long as you can put the damage in, you're fine. That's a lot of coins. Even then, I think you Mimic Bot here. Like, go ahead and Mimic Bot, because as you will get too much damage, if you get a Viz from that, you can stabilize. Or if you get Backstab or something, as I even.
Think.
What can Rafia do here? I think he'll play the Fledgling here because it's so strong. Even though his other option is also strong, but the Fledgling being uncontested is just insane. Fledgling can close this game in 3 turns, or maybe even 2 turns. Yep, there we go. A vicious Fledgling on the board. Very scary card, if you can deal with it. However, Raven can. Maybe he just lets the Raven live because he respects it. But you can't let the Fledgling live. It's too dangerous. It's too vicious. Just bite your face.
Nature will rise against you.
What else can Raven do here?
Nature will
Like, the
rise
Fastman
against
Slayer doesn't contest the 4/4 Raven, but the 3/3 will go too fast, get too big to even contest. So you have to kill the Fledgling here. And Raven agrees. Lets the Raven live. Kills the Fledgling. And now you can go ahead with your other plans. Patch is in charge. Probably will play the taunt together with this. And then smork some more. 5 more damage to the face seems like a good idea. There's no good way for Raven to punish him. Of course the Fan of Knives will do some work here. What could this be? What is good? That is decent. That's very good actually. The Savage Warrior Hero Power clears it. Oh, that's great. Yeah, you buff and then you go. You trade the pirate. You trade your hero power into the 1/1, and then you go face with the Raven once again. How ironic is it if Raven gets destroyed by a Raven in his final game of the series, and that loses him a spot to the finals? That's so sad though. Yep, goes for the play I suggested. And no, they can't hear me. That's an Archangel, but it's too early. He's only on 5 mana as well. Nope, that's 2 questings. That's not what you're looking for.
Amazing.
And this means that this game, I think,
Job done.
I don't think there's anything that Raven can do. And there we go. Which means that we will go to a final without Raven, but with Rafia. So the final will be Rafia versus Vorak. And I'll inform them quickly. Well, you will get a nice video break. So see you soon. And here we go into the next match, and the next match is the finals, guys. Hype. Let's hear some Hearthstone sounds in the meanwhile. So these are the classes we have. Vorak playing Shaman, Priest and Mage versus Rafia's Mage, Druid, Warrior. And here we are in the first game already. The Shaman of Vorak versus the Warrior of Rafia, and I suspect to be Taunt Warrior, and I'm right. Which is very favored for Taunt Warrior, so Vorak might be getting his first loss in this game. His first loss of the tournament, that's insane, guys. I think, yeah, this is difficult, because if you coin the Primal Fin Totem, that feels really good, but if he has War Ox, you are screwed. On the other hand, if he has War Ox, you have your Bloodseal Corsair. But it feels bad to get your Totem War Ox. On the other hand, Rafia doesn't have a War Ox, but that's not something that Vorak knows. Now he's happy though. He can start pushing damage already if he plays the Flame Tongue Totem here, and I don't think that's a really bad idea. Because to win this matchup, you have to push a lot of damage very quickly. And there we go, 5 damage to the face. When will Rafia be able to play his first minion or spell? And here we go, it's execute, that does nothing! Another that turn for Rafia, and well, the turns will start coming after this. Will it be enough anyway? I like the mana tide totem here to look for that bloodlust that you have. But I think Rafia's hand is too scary, even though it's slightly too slow. Now you play a taunt and you stabilize with the... Oh, that's better. That's even better. Just kill the Flame Tongue. Prevent the damage. But if you play a taunt here next turn, you can stabilize with a brawl, and after that, even though Vorak has 2 turns to build a board, there's 2 Primordial Drakes. 2 Primordial Drakes should always seal the deal versus those token decks. Tokens usually don't have more HP than 2. A way to win this, however, is playing Doppelgangster into Evolve. Not entirely sure if I like this, but I understand that Ismi would be traded away too easily otherwise. Oh, this is tricky, because if you want to play the Stonehill Defender, which you do, and you want to play your other dude, your Barret, to kill the weapon, then you can't spawn patches. But you want to spawn patches, because drawing patches is really bad. So you can get your... Oh, that's bad. I guess the Stubborn Gastropod might be the best here, just to deal with something like that large Primordial Drake. And he's not going for the Barret, which I agree with, or at least I understand. Oh, and there's the Doppelgangster, so now he only needs to evolve to get that great board clear. And here, just see, look at the value on the board. What do we see here? We see 3 cards: a Mana Tide, a Primal Fin, and a 1 for Stonehill Defender. And that's the board he has to brawl. That's really bad for the Warrior, to be honest. What will we see next? Will we see another Stonehill Defender, maybe with 2 Fireflies, maybe even with a Stubborn Gastropod? There's no weapon in the hand of Rafia anymore, and even though we know that there's mainly taunts now, Rafia still might think that there's, or Vorak might think there's like cool Sleep with the Fishes in his hand. And there's the patches. So no worries of drawing that anymore. From here on, Rafia has a really nice curve. Vorak really needs to draw that upgrade to still have a chance in this game. And with upgrade, I of course mean evolve. So it's 0 to both in this finals. We're just at the start of this match. Can Vorek finish what he started by pressuring?
The menagerie is for
There's the
guests only.
Curator being played. Only drawing one card because both Primordial Drakes are already in his hand, but this should warn Vorek for what is going to happen next, because he now knows that both Primordial Drakes are already in the hand. Which also means that he should preserve the HP on his 5/5 and trade with his smaller minions. This is fine, doing this first. That's a good pickup. It's surprisingly strong, even though you're not always happy with a 5 mana 7/8. That gives you a 3 overload, but in this deck the overload doesn't matter too much. And I really like that he noticed as well that he should lessen his board and play more larger minions. And just look at the HP of the warrior, so low already. What can he do here? Does he play the Drake? I guess so. If only Disturbing Gastropod had charge. Now you have to trade both your larger minions and then probably play another large minion. Or will he wait? But why does he play the 1/2s? He knows there's a second Primordial Drake in hand because it didn't get drawn, or only one card got drawn by the unit. And it wasn't this card. So you know that there's a second Primordial Drake in hand. Yep, there we go. Second Primordial Drake. No mana for an execute, but enough mana for Vorek to clear that Giant Drake. Now he knows that there's almost no AoE left. So if he can get on board from this position, he's in. So if he, I would have liked it if he didn't play the Gastropod last turn, but would have played it this turn. Execute. Sentinel Defender plus one of the 5 fluffs, probably the 2/7. And you always pick the Ancient of Blossoms here. There are no large minions from the Shaman that you want to kill, not anymore at least. So the Gastropod is useless. I like the Ancient of Blossoms here.
I wonder.
Sharp gadgets and steel.
Milsom Portal, not the worst card to find. But upgrade would still be better. Or, I say it again, evolve. Played too much Paradoria, you guys. Can't help it. Make sure that that Rafia gets the least armor possible, only 4. But 4 is still enough. And no healing totem. So that means that if Rafia draws his whirlwind effect, and that will be very strong, but no whirlwind effect yet. Another 2 tons though. means that his quest is done. Those are bad taunts though. Do you execute anything? Do your armor up? Do you play the gastropod? Great pickup. So you trade the 2 1-1s in the 1-2. Maybe your hero power first. You trade the other 1-1 in the 3-6 together with your Jade Lightning. And then the 3-1 and the 2-3 into the 1-4 if you even want to kill it. But first your hero power to get that healing totem. Even though it doesn't matter because you'll lose your stuff anyway. Maybe you don't trade into the 1-4 this turn, since you roll the healing totem. Wants to kill off his 2-3, wants to get those cheap minions back, even though he has mana for days, so I'm not entirely sure why you would want that. Could have kept it alive. And there's the ghoul, just 1 turn late, no sleep with the fishes either. He can use his weapon. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Excuse me for that. Alright. The weird sounds are over. Still have no clue what happened. I hope it doesn't happen again.
I must choose.
What happened in the game? A cool. Oh wow, this is a turnaround if I ever saw one. And a very quick one. And still no evolve. Only 11 cards left, no evolves, no bloodlust. Very unlucky for Vorek to get this far. And then be that unlucky. And even now you don't have to play the double gangster. Because the chance that he hits your face with his hero power is so small. The problem is the dirty red though, because he will pull the double gangster now. Oh, and there's a War Ox, so War Ox to the face. Yeah, this is painful. This is your win condition gone. Except if you draw the Bloodlust, then you can still win. Okay, can you win with Bloodlust? No, but you can you win with Evolve? Depends on what he gets. But it's literally the only thing you've got. Oh, that's not what you're looking for. What is that card even? Grime Street Pawnbroker. That's not even that bad. Why is no one playing this in Pirate Warrior? Huh, I tried. Didn't even know that card existed. I guess it's because it's in your hand and not a weapon you have in play. Like Captain Greenskin. That's a great pickup by Rafia, the Armorsmith, making sure that he really won't lose. Why wouldn't you hero power first? Like if you hit the face then you have lethal immediately. If you hit the minion you can still go on trade. And there's a man that still no evolve in hand, and this is game 4 for Vorak. He knows it himself, he concedes, and that's the first game going to who? To Rafia. So let's fix that in the overlay. Put him on 1-0, and this is the first game that Vorak lost in this whole tournament. That's amazing. So while they're waiting, let me check the classes. Okay, so Vorak still has his priest and mage left, and what will he play against this? I think he'll play his mage. Nope. Yep, decides to go for the mage. Here we go. It is a secret mage. It's slightly favored in this matchup. But will slightly favored be enough? That's the real question. Mana Worm turn 1, a very important role. The things you are looking for early game are the Mana Worm, the Archaeologist, and what more? Wow, an Eater of Secrets in the hand of Rafia, that he even runs that card in this deck. That's insane. Why would you do that? But it's so good in this matchup. Oh wow, that will get Vorak off guard for sure, especially because we didn't see it in the last game.
Someday I'll be just like you.
You want to pressure with the Sorcerer's Repentance as well, even though you don't have immediate value from it. And this is going to be an Ornery Direhorn. Pretty easy choice. Double. Yeah, Taunt and Adapt.
We have many secrets.
I think you play the Arcane Explosion here and then trade with the girl. Even though you play in Ghoul, you want to, or into Ghoul, you want to keep your Mana Worm as healthy as possible. The Arcane Explosion won't be useful anyway against other opponents. Don't decide to play around the Ghoul, but into the something like Execute or Sleep. Already placed his Eater of Secrets. Not entirely sure if I agree with this, but it will get Vorak off guard, that's for sure. Just look at the damage already coming in on the Taunt Warrior. But from here on he can stabilize, so there's a 2-7 coming out now to gain some armor. But again it will get countered by Fireland's Portal.
Sharp gadgets and steel.
Yeah, it really was seeing that card in Taunt Warrior. Oh, and that's a bad drop. A bad drop from the portal. Could be worse. Could also be a lot better. But again, Rafia very low on HP already. What else can he do? Oh, and there we go. Ghoul, sleep with the fishes to clear the entire board. And now the only thing that will help Vorak out is Fireball. Fireball's lethal. That's Ice Block. Still good enough, I guess. You clear the 3-3, but if you clear the 3-3 here, can you still win? Don't you just have to go face? Because you know there will be another taunt, right? And you're probably not gonna get through it anyway. So you might as well go face with the Medee's Fillet.
Excuse me, You are on fire.
And Vorak agrees and make sure that he has 2 outs in his deck, or 3 outs. 2 fireballs and 1 portal. Yeah, 3 dirty red, that's for sure. And then Armorsmith and trade.
Armor made to
2
fit.
free dirty reds. Coin hero power, I guess that's correct. And then he is on 6 HP, which means he's out of Fireland's portal range, so then there's only 2 outs. This is not one of them, but he's not dead yet, so he can go for it. He can go Frostbolt face plus ping. I don't like that at all. Why would you do that? You had a game plan. Commit to it. You have to ping the face, else this will go too quickly. He's on 10 HP, so this is the last turn that Fireball isn't out. And it's only Fireball now, so he has to draw that Fireball. Fireball or bust? No ice barrier. No. Oh, that's not Fireball. So if he pinged the face last turn as well, he would have had another turn that the Fireball was lethal. But now, by armoring up every turn and getting his quest done sooner than later. There you go, that's the quest done. You still armor up though. For now and then forever, probably. And he gets 2 more armor from that mana worm. If he plays it correctly. His game plan is not to win, his game plan is not to lose. For Rafia, that is. Seems like he understands this as well. Just gain more armor. That's no Fireball, but if it's Power Blast it might be enough. Nope, that's no Power Blast either, and I think that is the game, and Vorak can concede this as well. And is the Eat of Secrets enough then? Just to topple this game specifically? I think you want to test Mirror Entity with a dude, because then you get even more armor and you don't care about your minions anyway. But this is undoable for Vorak, which means that he will have to go to his final deck already. Nope, that's not what he's looking for. Now how are you going to win this? And the Fireball just comes way too late. And then here we go. Ping your own face. That's the spirit. There was no way for you to win this game anymore. Which means that Rafia is up 2-0, and will this be a short finals then? Because it is last hero standing, and I presume that Vorak took the deck that he thought countered the Taunt Warrior the best. And now he only has his Priest left, and I'm not entirely sure how that matchup is. Let's see. The Priest against the Taunt Warrior is... really depends on the Priest. Sometimes you can outlast. Sometimes. Let's see what Priest this is. Silence Priest, I think.
Victory.
Silence Priest is probably not that good. Yup, you're unfavored versus Stunt Warrior. Makes total sense though. Rafia with a pretty good starting hand as Vorak, and he's playing Light Wardens in his Priest. That's interesting, but now he really wants to find that Power Word Shield. The buff is Radiant Elemental. Shadow Visions, it's good enough, I guess. You can play it. But do you want to? That's the real question. And there we go. Divine Spirit, Inner Fire. We already saw those cards in Circle of Healing. He even has that in his hand. More Divine Spirit, probably the only way to win. And unfortunately for Rafia, it can't really do anything. I think Battle Rage is fine here. Just to cycle it. You want to draw your taunts anyway. That's a good card. That's a very good pickup. And another useless card for Rafia, for now that is. Armor up, that's it, armor up pass. If you wouldn't Battle Rage last turn, then you won't Battle Rage this turn. And there's the anti-aggro tag of a Vorak, or really tag, it belongs in this deck. But the Wild Paramonster is really good versus aggro if you want to deal damage to low HP minions, lots of them. But in this case, it's not gonna work out. I think he'll play one Radiant Elemental here and hit face. Or just Pyro. I'd like that. I like seeing the Pyro here. Nope, takes it slow. I'm not entirely sure how this matchup will go usually, but I suspect that you need a large minion on the board with high HP that goes face without there being taunts. But you're playing versus Taunt Warrior, so how are you going to get to the face if you don't pressure early? Then you need all your Shadowward's Pains and Deaths, and I don't think you run too much of those. I don't think you run 2 Pains to Deaths in this list. You might run no Pains and 2 Deaths. That's Power Shield, that's good. It's something. And here we go on the largest minion already. Hoping it won't get executed, and that's Lyra. Lyra also very important. Together with that Radiant Elemental, maybe he can get the cards he wants. And that's very smart, playing one Radiant Elemental now. Make sure that if he plays a second, that he can practically play unlimited spells next turn. But will Rafia brawl this? That's the real question. Because if he doesn't, it might be over next turn. That's how quick it can go with this deck. So usually you would say, play the Blood of Brave, armor up. That's the easy way out, but it's not really a way out. Very good of Vorak to keep that coin until now.
I wonder. I must choose.
Very hard turn for Rafia. Will he brawl or won't he brawl? That's the question. He will take the easy way out, play the Blood of Brave, armor up, and now Vorak will let loose. Let's go. Easy Lyra, you have to start quickly. Double health immediately on the 3-8, but I'd like to see the coin first. Oh, and that animation is going to be very painful. Embrace the shadows. Do you want to play a Circle of Healing? If you want to play Circle of Healing, play that first, and then play Embrace the Shadows, but you have to hurry up. Because you don't have enough time, especially with the Priest of the Feast going ham, and that's a good pickup for him. So now he only needs to find that inner fire. Plays Embrace the Shadows first, and how much time does he have left? Oh, Potion of Madness is even better than Shadow Word Pain in this case. You have to quickly hurry up. Decides to Shadow... No, decides to Potion of Madness. Yeah, now he doesn't... There's another Embrace the Shadows. Alright, he's going to kill himself. Oh, that's just sad. Never inner fire though. Couldn't find the inner fire. The inner fire would have been lethal, I think. Oh, and was too late with attacking with the 5-2. So now it's an easy turn for Rafia. Wow, but this is what you get, no offense, when you're just deciding too slowly. With this deck, you have to be really quick in playing Lara. Just spam your spells. Maybe it would have been better not to play the Embrace the Shadows. Even though you don't care about your health against Stunt Warrior.
One last fight.
There we go. Execute on the Priest of the Feast.
In the light's name.
There's an easy way to deal with the Light Warden, and that's the Primordial Drake here. Let's see what else he can do. Powered Shield. Just a cycle of it. And there's another Dark Reaper, that's not what you're looking for. I'm not entirely sure what you're looking for at this point. It looks like Rafia has this game in the bag. Yeah, I totally understand Vorak's feelings here. He wanted that inner fire, but now he has no chance to win anymore because he didn't get it and he took 15 damage. That doesn't really matter, but because he didn't get that inner fire, that's why he lost.
Blessed be this funnel cake.
What can you do from this point onwards? There's going to be more taunts and more taunts and more taunts. Now you can't get through anymore. You've blown your juice. Dirtred pulls the Pyromancer, and another Dirtred pulls nothing, but that's the 6th taunt already, and he has the 7th in his hand if he wants to play it. Goes for the Execute on the Priest of the Feast. Interesting choice. Not sure if I agree. Now he can't play the last taunt anymore, but that doesn't really matter. Doesn't want to play the Eater of Secrets either. Ooh, that's a good draw, I think. Interesting turn of events here as well. Will he heal the Pyromancer? I think you do.
Is someone injured?
Nope, apparently you don't. Divine Spirit. Not exactly what you're looking for and won't buy you another turn either. And this is harsh. At least there's no executes anymore, so the injured Blade Master, although injured, still looks like he can do some stuff, but the new hero power will surely fix the error, will surely be the end of the Blade Master here. So I think he'll play the 5-drop and the not Harrison 5-drop, the Direhorn Hatchling, and then play his weapon, hit the 1-3 hero power. But he decides to brawl, interesting, because this gives you an option to lose. Varg also already knows the outcome it seems, but he doesn't because he wins it. And this is how you can still lose this game. Now the injured Blade Master is so uninjured that he is not killable by the hero power. That's was a very surprising play by Rafia. What can Rafia do here? What I like to see here is either go for another brawl, because the chance that you hit it is rather large, or just finally go for that hero power. Yep, killed 3 for hero power. Maybe you hit it for 13, which would be nice. Maybe you don't, but there's still no way for Varg to win this. Still not getting that inner fire. Only 10 cards left in his deck. No inner fire inside. Should have kept it at the start. Kappa. No, you almost never keep your combo cards at the start. And the reason for that is that you want to have draw early and then draw into your combo cards, because with the draw you pressure a bit as well. And you get more value than your opponent, which is good. Your opponent has to waste cards on your draw. So if you get your draw first, like your Acolyte and your Nurture, then you draw into your combo soon enough. Here we go, second hero power to the face, Harrison on the board. Maybe he goes for the Direhorn Patriarch. Matriarch, is it? It is a Matriarch. And there's the inner fire, but it's too little too late. Or is it? If he can survive just a bit longer. But there's still new taunts on the way. Yeah, you have to inner fire here, clear the taunt.
I will crush you. I will crush you.
What will you do here?
I will crush you.
Yeah, you have to inner fire here, clear the taunt. Hope the hero power hits your dude.
I will crush you. I will crush you. I will crush you. That was an error. Astonishing.
Or Freya feeling the win already.
I will crush you.
Consider. Not too quickly.
Did Varg disconnect?
I will crush you.
It is possible, of course, but it would be very sad. Would be a sad ending to this game. I hope he didn't, but it looks like it. Wow, that's so sad. GG for Rafia. I'll ask Vorak if he is online, but he is not. So that does mean that his internet crashed. Which is, as I said, a very sad ending to this wonderful night. I hope you guys enjoyed all of it. Even though the later it gets, the harder it is for me to be energetic. But yeah, we saw some very good matches. I think Vorak played really well. We didn't see that much of Rafia, but what I saw meant that he played well. And I hope to see all of you guys next week as well. So goodbye and see you then.